Hello, gamer with taste here. Just wanted to make a video talking about all the new stuff about Borderlands 4. Not really going over it, but I mean, we did get like a gameplay reveal for Borderlands 4, and it looked good. It looks really good. There's a lot of good stuff in it. A lot of things that I'm happy to see. A lot of things that I thought looked good. A lot of things that they were saying that sounded good. And there's a little bit of like contention on oh, well, now there's a slot for your heavies or grenades. And it's like, what do you mean I can't have heavy weapons and grenades? I mean, I think it should be fine. They're trying to switch stuff up, okay? I mean, this game, personally, Borderlands 4 kind of looks a lot like Borderlands 3. Like, Borderlands 1 graphically versus Borderlands 2, very different. 1 versus 2, very, very different. And then the pre-sequel was basically just Borderlands 2, right? And then we got Borderlands 3. And we didn't really have a Borderlands in between 3. Oh wait, no, we had Wonderlands. We had Wonderlands, and that honestly looked quite a lot like Borderlands 3. But it had melee weapons, right? But I think they're starting to reach like the graphical limit of what they can really achieve. And to me, Borderlands 4 just kind of looks like Borderlands 3, honestly. And looking at the skill trees a little bit, what little that we know about the skill trees, it kind of looks more the same. Maybe that's just me. I'm not trying to be pessimistic by saying that. But it just kind of looks that way. Not necessarily saying it's going to feel that way. Not necessarily saying it's going to play that way. But that's how it looks to me. And I just wanted to talk about all the hype that I'm seeing over Borderlands 4. Like, we're getting a whole bunch of hype for Borderlands 4 now. I've been looking in the comments on the gameplay reveal and the content creators making videos on the gameplay reveal, and there's a lot of hype for it now. A lot of people are back in, excited for Borderlands 4, and I think that's great. I think that's a good thing. I'm excited for Borderlands 4 too, but oddly enough, I feel like a whole bunch of other people are more excited for Borderlands 4 than I am, which I love Borderlands. I was gonna buy Borderlands 4 regardless of how good it was. Like, I wasn't waiting until other people played the game for me to play the game. I was going to buy it the day it released and play it. And I mean, I guess what I'm trying to really say here is I kind of wonder if people aren't getting a little bit too hyped too quickly. You know? Like, there's still some contention to the game with, like, heavies and grenades taking up the same slot. You can only have one or the other. To me, that just means they're switching it up, you know? Again, graphical limitations are probably there, so they have to switch it up with gameplay. And this is one of the ways that they're trying to switch it up. And grenades didn't feel as powerful in Borderlands 3. And to be completely honest, grenades never really felt all that powerful. Except in Borderlands 2. If you got the right grenade in Borderlands 2, it was very, very powerful. But in Borderlands 1, it's not like it meant a whole lot. In the pre-sequel, it's not like it meant a whole lot. In Wonderlands, spells kind of took over, and the Buffmeister kind of reigned supreme. So, I don't know. It is what it is. But I don't really think grenades really ever felt all that powerful. And if they're taking up the slot that heavy weapons take up, I'm thinking that they should be much, much more powerful this time around, right? That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm hoping. That's the way it should be. But it's yet to be seen. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to get our hands on the game or see more gameplay of it, see more grenades being thrown, that sort of thing. But There are some points of contention. The UI, I also think, is ugly. Uh, the mini map being taken away from us, and now we have a compass. I don't really understand the point of that. I agree with Jolts, dude. Jolts says, like, what's the point of bringing a mini map into Borderlands 1 when they remastered it if you're just going to take away the mini map for Borderlands 4? Like, what kind of thinking is that? And I agree wholeheartedly. Personally, I don't mind a compass. I know K6 is like, look at all these three icons stacked on top of each other. There's 3 or 4 icons stacked on top of each other on the compass. How is that supposed to tell you anything? Well, you walk up to whatever is there, all right? Like, I think that's the whole point of the compass, is to make you not look at the compass so much. Like, it's still there if you need it, but you really don't need to look at the compass if you're just spatially aware of what's around you and you actually look at the gameplay, if you actually look at what's in front of your character. I do think that that is an issue in the Borderlands games every once in a while, is that you pay too much attention to the minimap and you just end up like looking at the minimap more than you actually look at the game in front of you. And you just like, okay, there's an enemy in that direction, turn in that direction, and then you pay attention, and then you aim, and then you shoot, and then you kill, and then you look at the minimap, where's the next enemy, right? And it's a little bit too easy to find the next enemy. I think there's a few more shenanigans that can happen when you don't have the minimap, because then some enemy can down you from like behind you and you have no idea where they are, and now you actually have to look for them, you know? And the minimap's not going to be there to help you, which, don't get me wrong, I like the minimap. I like being able to get back up because I know where the enemy is who killed me. I get it. I think a minimap would be very welcomed. I wouldn't fight a minimap. I'm very welcoming for compasses though, as well. I've been playing Fallout New Vegas, or I've been playing Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, Elder Scrolls. I mean, fuck, I played Morrowind, and I loved Morrowind, and that didn't even have like a quest marker, all right? It had a notebook that told you to head east. You didn't know how far east you had to go. You just knew that you had to go east. And it got confusing. But I love that game, and I still played it, and I figured it out, okay? I braved through it all, and I beat the game, and I rolled with the punches, right? So I think we might be complaining a little bit too much. Well, maybe not too much, but we might be getting a little bit overhyped, I would say. Because the more you hype up a game, the more critical you are of the things that you hate. And every once in a while, you'll see people on the internet that are like, there's this one thing that just completely ruins it, you know? And you look at that one thing and you're like, that's nothing. Like, why does that bother you so much? This is what's ruining it for you? And it's almost like they loved the game too much before they even got their hands on it, before they even knew what they were loving. I mean, honestly, it's a human thing. It's something each person could probably work on in many different facets of life, whether it's gaming or unrelated to gaming. I think we can all fall into that overhype thing, overvaluing before we even know what it is that we're valuing, right? It happens. But that's kind of where I'm at, where I'm not really all that hyped for Borderlands 4. Like, I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun, but I'm not really all that excited for it because I remember Borderlands 3, and I remember the life cycle Borderlands 3 went through. Now, I was excited as hell for Borderlands 3, but do you remember its life cycle? Okay? The life cycle for Borderlands 3, I thought was atrocious. Personally, I thought it was atrocious. Borderlands 3 was the one Borderlands game where I decided, all right, I'm going to play each of the characters, and I'm just going to try to experience as many builds for each character as I can. And that wasn't necessarily a bad idea, right? But I remember even just having one character for each character, you know, Siren and, you know, Zane, Amara, Flack, and the last one. What? I don't know why I can't remember the last one. Moe's. But I had each of them, right? Even just having one character for each character and then doing different builds. I remember how many builds that I filtered through just because they were nerfing and buffing different builds all over the place. It was so frustrating. I remember when oh I want to call it the plasma cutter. I don't think that's what it was. The Cutsman. I remember when the Cutsman was really, really good on Amara with a phase Zerker. And then they nerfed that. They nerfed the Cutsman. The Cutsman is worthless now, right? And like, I get it. As you bring in new weapons and new gear, like, you want people to use the new stuff. And you might want to nerf some of the overpowered gear that's already existent in the game, because there were some builds that were kind of broken and you don't really want people to stay on old gear because it's better than new gear. But I don't know, like, it frustrated me a lot to see all the nerfs that they brought. Like, there's so many builds that existed throughout Borderlands' 3 lifespan that just aren't even real builds anymore. And it's just kind of frustrating to see it happen, to see your favorite build get nerfed, to have a build, and then an update comes out and now it's worthless. And you have that build now, and you weren't prepared to lose it, but now you lost it. Now you need a new one, right? It's frustrating. It happened a lot in Borderlands 3. A lot. And then also, think about Mayhem. Remember Mayhem when Borderlands 3 first came out? How frustrating and stupid that was? I mean, we didn't know how bad it was. I didn't know how bad it was at first. I was trying to work around it. You know, I would have snipers if I ended up getting a sniper buff. I would have, you know, Mayhem... Base Mayhem just kind of sucked. I'll be honest with you. To me, Borderlands 3 never really became a well-rounded Borderlands until they stopped touching builds and gear and weapons. They came out with all the DLCs and they came up with the final Mayhem update. Once the game was all said and done, then I feel like Borderlands 3 became a well-rounded Borderlands game, right? A big part of that may have been the lack of DLC characters, because if there were DLC characters to play during its lifespan, then maybe I wouldn't have cared so much about my builds for the current characters being nerfed and changed so much. I would be busy messing around with new characters that would inevitably have overpowered builds that would inevitably be nerfed, but it would take longer for them to be found out to be OP, and they would be nerfed later, and you know, they're brand new characters, so they're probably going to be OP anyways, build or not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, new stuff is always a little bit more power creep, you know? That's just the way it is in gaming in general, it seems. But yeah, I mean, Borderlands 4 can come out, but I just hope it has a good foundation, because Borderlands 3 did not have a good foundation, okay? Mayhem was not a good foundation for Borderlands 3. It just wasn't. So they were working off of bad foundation the entire time. And they didn't really understand what made it bad until like the very last update to that foundation, to Mayhem. And they just removed all the stuff. Once Mayhem 11 came out, then it was fine. Then it was perfect, right? That was good. But until then, Mayhem was just kind of terrible. It It was bad. I didn't personally enjoy it. I still played the game, but I didn't realize how much fun I wasn't having until they gave us Mayhem 11. And then I realized, like, man, you guys would have just done this right away. This game would have been so much better. And then the anointment reroll machine. They didn't have that for the longest time. You couldn't reroll your anointments. I was on console farming anointments on the gear that I wanted to drop. And there was no way to reroll it. I was the guy stuck farming for a consecutive hits reflux. And I just could not find, or a URAD reflux. And I just could not find it. Right? It would not drop. So, yeah. No, I think we might be getting a little bit overhyped for Borderlands 4. Some of us, maybe. Maybe not all of us. I think a healthy dose of toning it down may be in order. Not because I think that Borderlands 4 is going to be bad. Not because I think Borderlands 4 is going to be disappointing. But it's another game, right? And I think the more us gamers really play games, the more we should be realizing that we really can't be hyping up games as much as we would like to. I think that's a part of growing older as well, is disillusionment. And you just can't be too excited because you don't have it yet. So if you put it up really high on this pedestal, and when you get it, you find out that it's not quite that high, sometimes you can make that difference, and it might be a molehill, and then you can make it a mountain, right? And you think it's way down here when it's really not. That's about all I'm really saying, right? I wouldn't get too upset over the compass, okay? All right? It's just a compass. I wouldn't get too upset with the lack of a minimap. Okay, it's just a minimap. Alright? I understand that you would rather have it. I would rather have the minimap. I don't know why they got rid of it. I think that's a weird thing. I wouldn't get too torn up over the UI. Like, to me, it looks kind of ugly. But I can see what they were kind of going for. And I think it'll work. I'm sure it'll work. I mean, honestly, I kind of wish that they would just go back to Borderlands 2's UI and just stick with that. And just always have it look like what Borderlands 2 did. I really, really think that that would be perfect for every single Borderlands game. Going back to what Borderlands 2 had. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just nostalgia talking because I love Borderlands 2. But I feel like it was the perfect inventory UI. But yeah, this video is getting a little long. So I think I'll end it here. Just keep your expectations on a leash, I suppose, you know. I don't want to kill anyone's hype for Borderlands 4. I'm excited for it too. I can't wait for it. We're getting DLC characters. That is fantastic. I really, really hope that we have dedicated drops. I wish we would be getting Pearlescence, but it doesn't sound like we will be. And I have no idea why. So we'll just have to wait and see. But thank you for watching. Hope you have a good one. Hope you continue having good ones. And I hope to catch you on the next video. I don't know when the next video is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be a video or if it's going to be a short of corduroy or what it will be. But, you know, it'll be out when it's out. And we like that. So, until next time, I'll have to catch you later. Take care.